Welcome back to the Dark Truth Diaries. Tonight, I want you to sit with me, just for a moment. Because this one right here, feels personal. It's about a betrayal that doesn't come from strangers in the dark, or masked attackers in an alleyway. It comes from inside the home, from the person you trusted the most, from the soul you promised your life to. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the place you built your memories, your marriage, your dreams, your family, is no longer yours. Not because of disaster, not because of debt, but because the person you loved sold it behind your back. Tonight's story is titled, "He Sold Their Home Without Her Knowing, So She Sold His Future." This one is raw, emotional, painful, and the kind of betrayal that shapes a person forever. So lean in, because this is where the truth begins. My name is Leah Thompson, and for most of my adult life, I believed in loyalty. My husband, Caleb, and I had been together since college. 12 years of shared struggles, shared dreams, and shared bills. We weren't perfect, but we had a beautiful home we bought after 7 years of saving. A 2-story, cream-colored house with a lilac tree in the front yard, and a kitchen window that caught the sunset just right. To me, that house wasn't property. It was safety. Sanctuary. The one place that felt truly mine. But for Caleb, it was an asset. A number. A bargaining chip. And I didn't know that difference. Until it was too late. Looking back, I saw the signs. The late-night phone calls. The unexplained absences. The growing distance in his eyes. But I convinced myself it was stress. Work pressure. A phase. Because when you love someone, you explain away the things that hurt. Then came the morning everything shattered. I woke up to a knock on the door. A stranger standing on my porch, holding a clipboard and a contract. He asked me, "Are you Leah? We're here to inspect the property before the official handover." Hand over? I laughed. Or maybe I choked. Because I didn't understand. "What do you mean? This is my home." And he said the words that still echo years later. Your husband sold this house last week." I tore through the house searching for Caleb. His phone off. His drawers empty. Entire sections of his closet missing. He wasn't just gone. He had planned this. I drove to his office. They said he resigned. I called his family. They claimed they hadn't seen him. And then I found it. A single sheet of paper on the nightstand. "I'm sorry, Leah. I can't do this anymore. I need a fresh start. You'll be okay, Caleb." That was it. No explanation. No warning. No remorse. He took the money. Every last dollar. And vanished. Leaving me with nothing. Now, you might think the story ends here. It doesn't. Because grief can break a person. But betrayal can build someone new. For weeks, I lived like a ghost. Packing boxes. Sleeping on the floor. Dreading the day the new owners would take possession. But one night, while sorting Caleb's leftover files, I found something the police had missed. A hidden folder labeled Sparrow. Inside, printouts of flight reservations, emails, bank transfers, and one name circled in red. Avery Collins. Avery was no stranger. She was Caleb's co-worker. Younger, flirtier. The kind of woman I once convinced myself I had nothing to worry about. But the evidence was obvious. The affair was long-term. They planned to move abroad. They used the money from my home to build their life. And that was the moment. Something inside me snapped. Not into anger. Into clarity. He didn't just leave. He didn't just betray me. He underestimated me. And that was his first mistake. I started small. Silent. Invisible. I tracked every bank transaction. Every email. Every movement on the accounts he forgot to close. Because he assumed I'd fall apart. I traced him to a coastal town. 4 hours away. Not abroad. Not living large. Just hiding. Waiting. Planning. Avery worked at a small accounting firm under a fake name. Caleb bartended at a local pub under another. They weren't starting a glamorous new life. They were running. Because the money, most of it was gone. Gambled. Invested poorly. Lost. They had each other. But nothing else. And that's when I crafted a plan. Not to hurt him physically, but to destroy his future. The way he destroyed mine. I created a fake identity. A woman named Riley Hart. Wealthy, lonely, and looking for a financial advisor. Caleb always loved wealthy women. He couldn't resist opportunity. Or temptation. Using a voice changer and burner phone. I called him. Told him I was inheriting $300,000. And needed a private consultant. His voice brightened instantly. He had no idea. We spoke for weeks. He believed every word. He bragged that he used to be a big deal in finance. Pathetic. He promised he could grow my money. He asked if we could meet. I agreed. But before the meeting, I did something crucial. I anonymously tipped off Avery's employer. With proof she'd been using false documentation. She was fired on the spot. And Caleb? He'd soon be next. The night arrived. I booked a table at an upscale restaurant. One I knew he'd feel out of place in. I arrived early, wearing sunglasses and a scarf. Sitting in a dim corner. When Caleb entered, my heart froze. Not from love. From recognition. He looked older. Tired. Beaten. Not from guilt. But from consequences. He sat across from me without suspecting a thing. I spoke softly, still disguised. Before we talk business, I need to confirm something. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside, documents exposing fraud, tax evasion, hidden assets, identity manipulation, all tied to him. His face lost all color. How did you get this?" he stammered. I smiled. Then slowly removed my sunglasses. The moment he realized it was me, will forever be burned into my memory. He didn't speak. He couldn't. I leaned forward and whispered, "You sold my home, so I sold your future." Then I stood up and walked away. As I exited, 2 federal agents entered the restaurant. I didn't need to look back. I already knew. Caleb was arrested for real estate fraud, tax fraud, identity manipulation, embezzlement from past clients, forging my signature on property documents. Avery fled the state, but was caught using stolen IDs. Caleb received 18 years in federal prison. Avery got 4. And me. I rebuilt my life. In a small apartment downtown. Not a mansion. Not a dream home. But mine. Every piece of furniture. Every bill paid. Every inch of progress. Earned. Owned. Reclaimed. And I didn't just survive what he did. I transformed because of it. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting someone. Sometimes revenge is simply watching the person who betrayed you fall into the grave they dug for you. And that, my friends, is the story of how betrayal broke a woman, and how she rebuilt herself by breaking the man who destroyed her life. Tell me in the comments, do you think Leah went too far? Or did Caleb get exactly what he deserved? If you enjoyed tonight's deep, personal dive into betrayal and revenge, make sure you thumbs up sign like this video. Bell subscribe to the Dark Truth Diaries. Blackheart share your thoughts below. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We expose the dark truths people try to hide. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and remember, when someone takes everything from you, sometimes the only thing left to take is their future.